Do not post your referral codes. Doing so will result in being blocked and reported. Thank you. Hi guys, Jayson121 here. Today I'm going to clarify up on the tiers of the Moon event, and I'm going to also be talking about how to properly max your cards. I've been getting a lot of questions on that. Just to say, order leader, Jayson121 House of Gods is our order. Use my referral code, RUM26800, if you're a new player, or if you got an extra phone laying around, because that helps me out a lot. So, let's go ahead and get started. Talking about tiers of the Moon. Now, the two main websites I really like to use, guys, and you're more than welcome to also use, is Rage of Bahamut, wiki-rageofbahamut.com, and also ragetradesblogspot.com, okay? And I'll be showing you more of those websites later on in this video. So, Legend of the Tower and Tiers of the Moon event. Now, apparently how this event plays out, and to read it word for word for the synopsis, there will be a limited time quest to get rare cards by completing Treasure Series. Furthermore, you will be able to slay daunting enemies waiting in the legendary tower. Rewards will be handed out by ranking, so keep progressing through the quest and aim for the top. How I read this out to be, guys, is I compared it to Roar of the Dragons. I've had a lot of players say that, no, that's not right, it's wrong, you progress using pure water only, you have to hunt for those treasures, and that's very possible. The best way I knew how to explain that was Roar of the Dragons, because that's what I had previously experienced. Now, I have not done a treasure hunting quote-unquote event, so will that be different? Yes, the big difference I've seen is Cure Water is going to play a bigger role in this than it did in the previous past. You might also have to repeat and retry trying to get those treasures from certain quest areas, or you might have to fight other players to get a complete treasure set. I'm not completely sure, and I can't tell you the exact answer. What I can tell you is from what I've read, prep yourself by getting those monster battle fighting card, boss fighting cards, like Axemaster, I'll Be Rich, and so on and so forth. Or use cards that aren't going to take up a lot of your attack power, okay? Or, prep yourself by putting some extra points into your stamina rather than your defense or your attack. So that's what my main emphasis is on that. And that being said, I've had some people post some not so pleasant comments on me, of course, messing up. And you know what, guys? I'm human. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to prepare you and let you know the information that I found. Will I make mistakes? Absolutely. But you know what, guys? I will always own up those mistakes because you deserve that at the very least. That being said, this goes without saying. We're all adults here. If you're not an adult, you know the difference between right and wrong. Don't post those negative comments directed at me or especially anybody else on the forum. You'll be blocked, you'll be banned, and you will be reported. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the goody part of this video. The main question and the most frequently common question that I've been getting is how do you properly, enhance a card to get it to its best status. So, if you ever have any questions, guys, on what card stats are, use this ragetradesblogspot.com. Amazing website. And just for the example that I'm going to use, I'm going to be talking about Angelic Knight. Now, at the very, get ahead of myself. Let's go to here. Double rainbow, what does it mean? Sorry, I had to say it. And also, I'm going to give a shout out to the War Driver. He's the one that really inspired me to get off my ass and make this video. So, you'll usually hear players online or forums talking about two different numbers, such as 41, 46, 62, 82, 611. That's kind of up to, a little bit of conversation, and conspiracy. At 814, and of course, the max desired is 815. So what the hell does that mean? The first number is how many cards were used. So, you're using 4 Angelic Knights. The second number is how many times you maxed out that card. So 6 times. Now how that kind of breaks down, and we'll use 814 as an example, is you have 8 normal name cards, such as Angelic Knight. And then when you max enhance all those, if you do 1 max enhance to 1 max enhance, that's going to give you 4 plus max enhance cards, okay? So use your fingers if you have to. You have 8 of them, put 2 on each one, then you have 4 plus cards. You max out those 4+ cards. Use one 4+ card with one 4+ card. One 4+ card with one 4+ card. You'd have 2++ cards. You max that out one more time. You have that desired one nickname card. So those 8 cards become one card. You have to max it out at least 14 times to get that 814 card. Max it out one more time to get that 815. So when we go back to this, when you use this chart, you're going to have a 4 max, 6-2, 8-2, 6-11 is what I call it, or then your 8-14 card max, okay? So, people ask me, what's the best? Is it worth the cost? So on and so forth regarding those questions. And we'll scroll down and take a look, and you can decide for yourself. And then, of course, I'll give you my input. For Angelic Knight, using a 4-6, it maxes out at about 5,000 attack. For the Angelic Knight, using an 8-15, maxes out at 5,169. So it doesn't appear to be a big difference. So for certain cards, I'd say no. For other cards, I'd say yes. So how do you determine that? One of the other examples that I'm going to give here is Master Gunner. Master Gunner here, at its lowest out of a 4-6, is 14,820. The Master Gunner at its max is 15,336. So only about a 500-point difference for an extra 4 cards and extremely, you can just imagine how many feeder cards and how many rupees it takes to get that extra 500 points. Now, if I have 5 Master Gunners in my deck that are each 815s, that's only a 2,500-point bonus for an extra ton of cards. Do I think that's worth it? No. Now, other cards, I think so, yes. So let's go back to our chart, okay? For cards like event cards like Master Gunner, the cost versus the bonus is not worth it in my opinion. For attacking other players, is it plausible? It's plausible. So, if you can afford it, go ahead. Should you feel obligated to? No. And this is why. When you're fighting another player that's really close to your level, sometimes it boils down to about just 1,000 extra points to be able to beat that person. But there are better ways to go about it, such as, are you the attack leader? Are you the defense leader? Are you using cards that were within your realm? Certain things like that. That gets priority, in my opinion, to doing that 815 status. Does it really make a difference? In the end, yeah. If you have to win, do it. But is it such a big difference that you can't have fun and enjoy the game if you don't do it that way? No. But here's the big difference in my opinion, guys. When you start getting into SR, SSR, and Legendary cards, go ahead and go for that 1815 status. And that's going to cost you a ton of rubies, a ton of feeder cards, and plus each of these cards, guys, you're looking at a bare minimum of 120 to 150, 500, and honestly, I have not seen people selling these legendary cards yet on any of the forum websites I've changed. So they're probably 1,000 HP. But if you're going to do it right, and if you're spending that much money, yeah, do it right the first time. Go ahead and take the time, the effort, and the investment to do it right. Because chances are, once you get one of these cards in your deck, you're never going to take it out. So do it right the first time. So let's go ahead and go back here. And as you can see, here's some of the stats. Of course, these aren't maxed out. So, one of the other priorities I talked about is skills. People always ask me, what about the skills? How does the skills work? And what I say is, you're going to need high, normal, skilled cards to try to get your effects up. That's one of the cheapest ways to do that. Usually people are trying to get those SR or those SSR cards up. When you do that, you go to feed those in. So say that you're using 10 high, normal, skilled cards. It's going to go to this list, enhance, okay? I'll bring this up and make it a little bit bigger. skill up campaign underway. Chance of skill up level boost. It won't always say 100%, guys. I'll go more into that. It'll also say this amount of rubies it costs. Sometimes you'll get that 50% enhancement off. And then, of course, you go on. So, what exactly does that do? It's going to give you 1% damage boost every time you get that skill level up. So, skill level 10, you're going to get a 10% damage boost to that card's max attack and max defense. And in addition, you're also going to get that added to the normal boost. So if it's a massive boost, you know, the example that they give, 10% plus 4 times 1%, so 14% for a card that is level 5. Alright? So that really adds up. Now, the problem is once you start getting past level 6, you start to have to spend money on stuff like rares, high rares, and devil queens to start getting that 100% boost. And that's extremely expensive. So, if you have a SR, SSR, or legendary card, is it worth it? In the long run, yes. And what I recommend, and going back to this, is once you get to that 18-14 status, and you start working on maxing that up to its last perfect card status, okay, so that 815, start using high normal skilled cards to do that. Don't use those typical feeder cards, okay? And the reason I say that is if you get this card to its 18-15 status and it's skilled level 1, and you decide that, hey, I want to go back and try to get that to skill level 10, you're wasting that experience, and you're wasting all those old feeder cards that you used. So do it right the first time. Save yourself time, headaches, money, cards, etc. Now scrolling down, people want to know, what's the percentages? So, Legend, Rare SS, Rare S, and High Rare. I'm just going to be going over the Rare S and the High Rare because those are typically the two most common cards out there that people ask me about. So using a high normal card that has a skill, a 1 to 2 will give you an 8% chance. So for every high normal skilled card you use, you get an 8% chance. And then that increases so on and so forth to basically, you know, these are the percentages that you're going to need. Okay? And as you can see, that rare status gives you almost a 4% chance higher. So you can get 100% chance bonuses, okay? And excuse me guys, at level 1, it's going to give you 8% chance. At level 2, 5.4. So eventually at level 9, to get to level 10, it's only a 1.6% chance. So using 10 high normal skilled cards, you only got like a 12% chance of that going off. And it's not worth it for that 2 HP cost, 3 HP cost. So you're going to want to start to look at using rares, unfortunately, or double queens to make the cost effective, okay? And even using 10 rare cards, that's only a 25% bonus. So, how much is it worth the extra HP? That's your decision. That's your choice. But as you can see, going from level 5 to level 6, it's pretty cheap. And for the extra 5% bonus, yeah, it's worth it in my opinion. Well guys, that pretty much concludes this video. If you have any questions, be sure to comment in the comment section below. Post any questions or concerns. Message me in game if you need to. I typically try to answer them faster here online. You know, like I have to say, because this is what keeps me motivated, post those positive comments below. Like, subscribe. If you got an extra phone, or if you're a new player, use that referral code RUM26800. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for continuing to watch my videos. I hope you have fun at the next event, and I hope to see you there. This is Jayson121 signing off.